Rita McGuire. I'm the Chief Medical Officer here for Wakana, as well as one of the co-founders. So let's first talk about cannabis. If you're on the line and you may need some clarity, we're going to get clear on the difference between the different species that the cannabis plant makes. Well, the cannabis plant has over 100 plus compounds. They're called cannabinoids. And these two commonly known ones are CBD, and that's what we're going to be talking about tonight extensively. CBD, or cannabidiol, which is the non-psychoactive part of the plant. What that means is that it doesn't get you high, but it gives you the health benefits and symptom reliefs that you're looking for. And then there's THC. Many of you have heard of THC. That's one that gets you high, or delta-9 tetrahydrocannabinol. So cannabis is actually broken up in two different species. One species is the marijuana species. Well, we won't be talking about marijuana tonight, but that's the species that contains high levels of THC. That's the compound that gets you high. And very trace amounts of CBD. That's the part that gets you healthy. The other species is hemp, and we're going to be specifically talking about hemp and its derivatives. Hemp is defined as containing very trace amounts of THC and larger amounts of CBD, or cannabidiol. But what is CBD? CBD is cannabidiol, and it is a naturally occurring compound found in the cannabis sativa plant. Again, we saw in the previous slide that CBD, though it can come from marijuana or hemp, it's the hemp species that is legal in all 50 states. It's the hemp species that contains the legal limit of THC, which is 0.3%, and it is that amount that is not enough to get you high. And what we see is that hemp is a very fast growing part of the cannabis industry. In fact, we have noticed that there's an explosive growth, that by 2022, that we are looking at this entire industry in generating revenues in excess of $22 billion with a B. So let's look at some of the medical or medicinal benefits for CBD. CBD, as you can see in this graph, has a long list of properties. It is an antibacterial, it inhibits cancer cell growth, it's neuroprotective, it promotes bone growth, it reduces seizures and convulsions, it reduces blood sugar levels, it reduces the function of the immune system, and we're going to talk about that. It reduces inflammation, it reduces the risk of arterial blockage, as well as it reduces small intestinal contractions. It reduces nausea and vomiting. It also slows bacterial growth, and it suppresses muscle spasms, as well as CBD can be used to treat a lot of skin disorders like psoriasis and eczema and acne. CBD is even a vasorelaxant. Vasorelaxant means it comes in and helps to dilate those vessels, not only in the heart, but vessels that are also found in the GI tract. Now, when we look at the other cannabinoids in this wheel, being 1-delta-9 THC, remember that is found in small amounts in the hemp species, but it does have some medicinal properties. It helps to reduce vomiting and nausea, relieves pain. It stimulates the appetite, and it also suppresses muscle spasms. When we look at the whole plant, we call it a full spectrum product. And that's important because when you look at the other cannabinoids like CBG, and we look at CBC, we see that there's a synergistic effect on the body on a cellular level when we're talking about aiding and relieving so many symptoms that folks have that have GI disorders that we're going to talk about tonight. So how do these compounds work? When you take in CBD, exactly what we call the pharmacology? What is the system by which the body takes in the CBD and addresses the needs of inflammation and pain? Well, it does it by the endocannabinoid system. This system is a recently discovered biological system that helps the body achieve homeostasis, or helps the body achieve balance. This system is actually looking for CBD and the other cannabinoids that we talked about earlier. And these receptors that are looking for CBD help to regulate inflammation, pain, anxiety, all of the autoimmune disorders, as well as GI disorders that, again, cause a lot of inflammation and pain. So when you consume CBD, those receptors that are found in the brain, the central nervous system, the heart, the lungs, the liver, the kidney, the spleen, the bowel, the teeth, even the reproductive tract, like the uterus and testicles. And you can see here on the right, there are receptors in every single organ and gland in our body that is looking for CBD to put our body back in balance. So this system was discovered in the early 1990s. We're hearing much more about this system, and this system is the way that CBD and the other cannabinoids work. So not only does it regulate and modulate appetite and digestion and metabolism, but it also regulates the cardiovascular function, inflammation and pain, our immune function, energy balance, memory, our sleep-wake cycles, and even stress and mood. CBD is one of the most powerful anti-inflammatory herbs around. We can absolutely substitute CBD for any anti-inflammatory medication that we're used to using. In fact, CBD also is a very powerful analgesic, so it helps with the pain. CBD also, in turn, again, has receptors in the intestinal tract to decrease contractions, to improve the mobility, the substances that need to move through the intestinal tract. When you bring in CBD, when those receptors become imbalanced, you can bring in CBD to bring the body back in homeostasis. So that is how CBD works, to decrease the inflammation and to decrease the pain.